under the blood moon's eerie glow, where the tumbleweeds twist and blow, the gallows creak in the midnight breeze, whispering tales of outlaws and thieves. Down by the creek where the willows cry, a shadow lingers, a ghost rides by. His spurs still jingle, his pistol gleams, haunted by sins, lost in his dreams. Oh, the ghosts of the gallows, they never sleep. They roam the plains where secrets seep, their mournful cries cut through the night in the wild west, unholy light. Saloon doors swing, the whiskey flows, a piano plays and the candle glows, but outside the wind wails a deadly tune, a ballad of vengeance under the moon. Gunpowder smoke and a widow's tears, the echo of justice lingers for years. A brutal man with a voice like stone sings to the dark, forever alone. Oh, the ghosts of the gallows, they never sleep. They roam the plains where secrets seep, their mournful cries cut through the night in the wild west, unholy light. There's a black crow circling the canyon wide. Dust devils whisper where the lost souls hide. A pistol's cold echo, a widow's cry. Under blood-red sunsets where legends die. The saloon doors creak, the gambler's hand shakes, the cards tell a story of high deadly stakes. Whiskey burns deep, but the truth burns more. Outlaws haunt shadows of the desert floor. Oh, whiskey and gunpowder, the devil's own brew. Ghosts in the moonlight, they're calling for you. Spurs on the gravel, fate's hand in the game. A sinner's redemption or eternal shame. The preacher's been buried, his cross turned to ash. No prayers for the living, just greed and cold cash. justice that's long come undone. The rattlesnake sings to the wind's hollow tune, a life lived by the gun ends far too soon. Bones in the desert, a grave marked in stone. Every outlaw dies, but they all die alone. Oh, whiskey and gunpowder, the devil's own brew. Ghosts in the moonlight, they're calling for you. Spurs on the gravel, fate's hand in the game. A sinner's redemption or eternal shame.
The sun sinks low on the desert sand, a shadow creeps, a gun in hand. The wind it howls a mournful cry, where ghosts of outlaws never die. A bottle of whiskey, a deck of lies, the gambler's soul in his deadpan eyes. He dealt his hand, he made his bed. Now 6 feet down, his debts are paid. Blood on the mesa, red as the clay. Echoes of vengeance won't fade away. The devil rides where justice won't tread, in the land of the living ruled by the dead. A widow waits by the cabin door, her heart as heavy as a civil war. She hums a hymn to the cold night sky, praying her man's not next to die. The sheriff's badge is tarnished black from all the sins he can't take back. His trigger hand, it shakes tonight, caught between wrong and what feels right. Blood on the mesa, red as the clay. Echoes of vengeance won't fade away. The devil rides where justice won't tread, in the land of the living ruled by the dead.
The saloon doors creak as I step inside. Dust on my boots and a gun at my side. Whiskey's my friend, but the devil's my kin. These blood-stained hands bear the wages of sin. Outlaw shadow in the pale moonlight, running from ghosts that won't fade in the night. A six-shooter hymn, the ballad of screams, live living and dying in whiskey and gunpowder dreams. The preacher once told me there's no saving grace for men like me who leave a fiery trace. But I hear the wolves howl in the midnight air, their songs my salvation, my lonesome prayer. Outlaw shadow in the pale moonlight, running from ghosts that won't fade in the night. A six-shooter hymn, the ballad of screams, living and dying in whiskey and gunpowder dreams. The crows on the fence post, they cackle and stare like they know my story, every sin laid bare. The graveyard's call, but the road pulls me on, a cursed desperado till my final dawn. Outlaw shadow in the pale moonlight, running from ghosts that won't fade in the night. A six-shooter hymn, the ballad of screams, living and dying in whiskey and gunpowder dreams. The moon hung low on the canyon's edge, a whisper of death in the desert pledge. Coyotes howl on the mournful tune, under the shadow of a blood-red moon. The dust, it clung to my weathered coat, a pistol's weight and a dying man's note, a grave unmarked by the sagebrush sway. The sins of the West don't wash away. Blood on the canyon echoes in stone, a man rides alone with sins to atone. The ghosts of the past, they call out my name. In the wild of the West, there's no one to blame. The rattlesnake warned as I crossed the stream, a path to hell carving whiskey dreams. The preacher's words, they burned like fire, but the outlaw's life is a funeral pyre. A woman once loved, now a shadowed face, her voice still haunts this desolate place. The card I drew, the ace of spades, marked my fate in the gunslinger's trade. Blood on the canyon echoes in stone, a man rides alone with sins to atone. The ghosts of the past, they call out my name. In the wild of the West, there's no one to blame.
The wind howls low through the canyon tonight. Shadows dance in the pale moonlight. Blood on the earth where the coyote cries. Under the gallows, the soul never dies.
six-gun preacher with a crooked grin, and took his last breath confessing his sin. Ravens are circling, the hangman's near. Justice and vengeance, right hand in hand here. Oh, the ghosts of the gallows still whisper my name, bound to this land by sorrow and shame. The West ain't wild, it's a graveyard of dreams, where the outlaws lie, quiet, torn at the seams. There's blood in the creek where the water runs red. Tales of the lost, the forgotten, the dead. Whiskey burns hotter when it's poured from regret. In the saloon where the haunted can't forget. Spirits of sinners and saints collide, lost in the echoes of a lawless pride. The stars bear witness to the stories untold of the broken, the damned, and the souls they sold. Oh, the ghosts of the gallows still whisper my name, bound to this land by sorrow and shame. The West ain't wild, it's a graveyard of dreams, where the outlaws lie, quiet, torn at the seams. Torn at the seams. Torn at the seams.
Out on the plains where the shadows crawl, a rusted spur and a raven's call. A lone coyote howls at the pale moon's glow, the kind of night where secrets grow. A saloon door swings and the whispers start. The devil deals cards with a blackened heart. The preacher's gone, left his Bible to rot, in a town where the righteous are quickly forgot. Whiskey and ghosts in the midnight air, dust on my boots, blood on my prayer. The law's got no place in a heart like mine, outrunning the dark till the end of time. Cry through canyon walls where outlaws die. a pistol's bark and a gambler's grin. The wages of sin, they always win. The rattlesnake's song hums low and deep, the kind of tune that don't let you sleep. A haunted man with a price on his head dreams of the living but sleeps with the dead. Whiskey and ghosts in the midnight air, dust on my boots, blood on my prayer. The law's got no place in a heart like mine, outrun in the dark till the end of time.
There's a moon hung low on the canyon spine. Shadows dance where the coyotes whine. A graveyard wind whispers through the pines, and the ghosts on the prairie are drinking their wine. A six-gun preacher rides the trail along, his sins carved deep in the marrow of bone. The desert's his church, the stars his throne. He prays to the night for his soul to atone. Oh, the wild west, don't forget, oh forgive. Every scar's a story, every sin will outlive. With blood in the soil and death on the breeze, the ghosts on the prairie bring men to their knees. The saloon door swings, it creaks like a sigh. Whiskey-stained whispers, a gunfighter's cry. Cards on the table, the stakes running high. In the devil's own shadow, men live just to die. Rattlesnake trails in the dust of the plains, where love's just a curse and hope leaves no stain. The vultures, they circle, but no one complains. For outlaws like him only know loss and chains. Oh, the wild west, don't forget or forgive. Every scar
sin will outlive, with blood in the soil and death on the breeze. The ghosts on the prairie bring men to their knees.
Hangs low like a watchful eye, and dust settles down where the shadows lie. Coyotes cry, splits the cold dead air. In the valley of sin, there's no mercy there. Whiskey and gunpowder, blood on the land. The devil's been dealing with a trembling hand. The preacher's long gone, no prayers left to say. In this wild west hell, you best learn to stay. The saloon door creaks like a ghost's last breath. Men play their hands, but they gamble with death. A girl in the corner hums a mournful tune, eyes dark as coal like a cold lead moon. Oh, the southern winds whisper tales of woe, of a drifter's sins and the dead they owe. With a voice like thunder, the outlaw rides, a storm in his chest where his soul once died. On the hill, unmarked and still, a reminder that time bends in no man's will. The echoes of boots fade into the night, chased by the ghosts of an endless fight. Whiskey and gunpowder, blood on the land. The devil's been dealing with a trembling hand. The preacher's long gone, no prayers left to say. In this wild west hell, you best learn to stay. A blood moon rises over barren ground, dust and shadows, no soul around. A lone rider moves through the midnight air. His heart is heavy, his soul laid bare. Shadows on the prairie, whispers in the wind, the ghosts of old sins
won't let him begin. The weight of the past, the price of the fight, a reckoning waits in the dead of night. He wears the scars of a life untamed, a desperado with no one to blame. The desert howls, it knows his name. Every step he takes feels the same. Shadows on the prairie, whispers in the wind, the ghosts of old sins won't let him begin. The weight of the past, the price of the fight, a reckoning waits in the dead of night. The canyon echoes with the sound of his pain. Thunder rolls, but there's no sign of rain. The spirits gather, they circle his trail. Judgment looms in the outlaw's tale. The saloon light flickers, a final stand. Revolver heavy in his calloused hand. He stares down the barrel, his fate is near. The end is written, but he feels no fear. There's blood on the dust where the tumbleweeds grow. The gallows stand high where the cold winds blow. A black crow's cry cuts the silence in two. The devil's out riding and he's looking for you. Under the moon where the shadows fall deep, the sins of the wicked never sleep. The ghosts of the gallows still whisper and moan. Outlaws and sinners, you're never alone. The saloon lights flicker, the whiskey runs dry. A preacher's last prayer meets a gunslinger's lie. The cards on the table, a dead man's hand. The reaper deals justice in this cursed land. Under the moon, where the shadows fall deep, the sins of the wicked never sleep. The ghosts of the gallows still whisper and moan. Outlaws and sinners, you're never alone. sheriff's badge tarnished, his soul turned to stone. He walks through the night, but he ain't alone. A harmonica wails like a widow's last breath. In the Wild West's arms, there's nothing but death. Under the moon, where the shadows fall deep, the sins of the wicked never sleep. The ghosts of the gallows still whisper and moan. Outlaws and sinners, you're never alone.
Whistle of sorrow where the lost soul lives. Crows perch high on a fence of rust, whispering secrets about bones and dust. A rider appears neath the blood-red moon, with a 6-gun hymn and a heart out of tune. His shadow's long, but his time is thin. The devil's smiling, beckoning him in. Ghosts on the prairie, they're calling my name. Shadows and sins in the flicker of flame. A past I can't bury, a road I can't change, running from echoes, wild and deranged. The saloon doors creak like an old man's groan. Whiskey and smoke carve a heart of stone. Cards on the table, death in the air. A trigger itches in the outlaw's glare. The church bell tolls in the dead of the night. A widow weeps in the pale firelight. Her prayers a curse, her tears a plea, for the soul of a man lost to eternity. Ghosts on the prairie, they're calling my name. Shadows and sins in the flicker of flame. A past I can't bury, a road I can't change, running from echoes, wild and deranged. The sun sinks low on a blood-red sky. Shadows stretch where the coyotes cry. A tumbleweed rolls, the dust kicks high. Outlaw's breath is a whispered goodbye. A pistol gleams in the moon's pale light. His sins are weighed on a desert
sacred night. The gallows call, but he won't go down. A ghost of vengeance in this lawless town. And the winds howl hard through the canyon's edge, carrying secrets and a sinner's pledge. The Wild West graves hold the stories untold of men gone cold, their souls bought and sold. Boots crunch dirt on a barren trail. The preacher prays, but his words all fail. The whiskey burns, but it won't erase the haunting faces he can't replace. The stars are sharp like a killer's blade. The cards are dealt, the price is paid. His brutal voice, like a raven's call, echoes deep through the canyon walls. And the winds howl hard through the canyon's edge, carrying secrets and a sinner's pledge. The Wild West graves hold the stories untold of men gone cold, their souls bought and sold. Moonlight spills on the gallows crest, where shadows dance, never laid to rest. A whisper rides on the midnight air, telling tales of men who vanished there. A preacher's son with a heart of sin dug his grave with the life he lived in. The devil laughed as the noose went tight, another soul claimed in the dead of night. Ghosts of the gallows, they're calling my name, bound to the dust, tied to the flame. Every step I take, I hear their cries in the haunted winds where the outlaw dies. Drifter's hand held a pistol's weight, quick on the draw but slower on fate. The sheriff's badge, now rusted and cold, marks the place where his story was told. The vultures circle, the coyotes howl, the desert holds secrets beneath its scowl. No church bell rings, no mourners pray, just a lonesome wind to carry decay. Ghosts of the gallows, they're calling my name, bound to the dust, tied to the flame. Every step I take, I hear their cries in the haunted winds where the outlaw dies. The moon hung low on a blood-red sky. A tumbleweed rolled as the coyotes cried. In the shadow of the desert where the bones lay dry, the ghost of El Paso is where I ride. Black boots tread on the scorched, cracked land. A pistol hangs heavy in my calloused hand. The air tastes of whiskey, regret, and sand. Death rides close, he's a ruthless man. Oh, the sins of the West never fade away. They haunt the hills where the shadows play. Every shot fired, every debt unpaid, leaves a ghost in the dust where the memories stay. The saloon stands crooked, a graveyard of dreams. The echoes of laughter now tortured screams. The piano's gone silent, but the darkness gleams. In this town of the damned, nothing's what it seems. I was born with the devil's mark, they say, raised by the wolves in the outlaw's way. Now the vultures circle my soul to weigh. A sinner's price is the price I pay. Oh, the sins of the West never fade away. They haunt the hills where the shadows play. Every shot fired, every debt unpaid, leaves a ghost in the dust where the memories stay. The moonlight falls on the canyon wide, where ghosts of outlaws used to ride. The whispering wind through the sagebrush moans, telling secrets of the lost and lone. Shadows on the prairie, dark as the night, echoes of gunfire and a fading fight. The past keeps calling, it
grave of a wanted man. His name's forgotten, his deeds remain, carved in stone by the desert rain. The cow cries and the rattler sings under the spell of the old ghost strings. Each tumbleweed rolls with a story untold of the lives burned out, hearts gone cold. Shadows on the prairie, dark as the night, echoes of gunfire and a fading fight. The past keeps calling, it won't let go, in the heart of the west where the wild winds blow. A saloon door swings in the phantom breeze. Dust settles slow on forgotten pleas. The preacher's Bible and the outlaw's sin both fade away, but the tales stay pinned.
Down in that deep dark hole again, where silence hits me like a train. Just sitting here with pickaxe dust and memories I can't quite trust. The land's flame burns mighty low as voices call from down below. They're calling, calling, calling. The darkness whispers their names. The darkness whispers their names. Every rock, every stone holds an echo of home, and the darkness whispers their names. La da dum da dum da dee.
The walls are closing in on me.
Bang 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 on broken stone. Ma ma ma, leave me alone. Help help help, but no one came. When that mountain spoke my name. Now every night I hear that sound, a timber cracking underground. They're falling, falling, falling. The darkness whispers their names. The darkness whispers their names. Every rock, every stone holds an echo of home, and the darkness whispers their names. I should have been there with them, down in that cursed ground. Instead I'm here remembering that terrible, terrible sound. That's the darkness whispers, the darkness calls. The darkness knows what I saw. Darkness whispers, darkness comes. Weak ones, carried arms, flourished on. The darkness darkness whispers their name.
Bill and Jack in No Man Chains.
The darkness whispers their name.
And Charlie came.
Every rock, every stone holds an echo of home. In the darkness, still whispers their names.
I push through these swinging doors. Dust settled on the wooden floors. Half full glass on the bar. Blueprints leading pretty far. Something ain't right in here. Feel it crawling near. Whiskey ain't even cold. Got a feeling I've been told. Chairs turned sideways by the wall. Playing cards midway to fall. Money is scattered on the ground. Not a soul makes a sound, but somebody's watching me from where I came. Whiskey ain't even cold. Got a feeling I've been told. Wind picks up outside the pane, rattling wood like bones in pain. Every step I take back now echoes something I won't allow. Hand steady on my gun as the last light of day's done. Clock on the wall just stopped when that bottle finally dropped. Time stands still in this place. Never made it. Whiskey ain't even cold. Got a feeling I've been told.
Out on the prairie where the shadows grow tall, the wind tells secrets about the ones who did fall. A hangman's tree stands its branches all bare, whispering tales to the cold midnight air. He rode through the dusk with a gun at his side, a heart full of vengeance, nowhere left to hide. The preacher called mercy, the law called it sin, but justice ain't clean when the devil moves in. Ghosts of the gallows, they cry in the breeze, rattling chains in the arms of the trees. A lone rider's shadow, forever he'll roam, chasing the past, but he's never going home. The saloon like they're worn in the bowl. The whiskey burns hot, but the nights turn cold. Cards on the table to deal with the flame. He bets his last breath on a life full of blame. And the moonlight, it cuts like the edge of a blade, revealing the scars of the choices he made. The wolves in the hills, they howl in the night as the outlaw rides on, just a ghost in the fight. Ghosts of the gallows, they cry in the breeze, rattling chains in the arms of the trees. A lone rider shadow, forever he'll roam, chasing the past, but he's never going home.
Out where the crows and coyotes cry, under the blood-red hanging sky, the gallows creak where the shadows wait, old secret sharp as a rusted blade. Whiskey whispers in the dead of night, gun smoke lingers in pale moonlight. A preacher's hymn couldn't cleanse this town. The devil danced when the sun went down. Ghosts of the gallows, they howl and wail, stories of vengeance, whiskey and betrayal, rattling chains where the outlaws fell. This is their heaven, this is their hell. Boots on the floorboard, echoes deep. Saloon's a graveyard where secrets sleep. A gambler's hand, a lover's last breath. This town was carved from sorrow and death. Weeps at the edge of the field, where blood and dust are the crops it yields. Her voice is a hymn, but her soul is torn, in a land where saints and sinners are born. Ghosts of the gallows, they howl and wail, stories of vengeance, whiskey and betrayal, rattling chains where the outlaws fell. This is their heaven, this is their hell. Through the canyon winds that howl at night, a lone rider moves 'neath the pale moonlight.
dust on his boots, blood on his hands, chased by shadows in these cursed lands. His horse is weary, his soul is torn, haunted by faces of those who mourn. A six-gun preacher, a sinner's creed, trading salvation for outlaw deeds. On the devil's trail, there's no turning back. The path is carved in shadows painted black. The reaper waits where the wild winds wail. Every step is hell on the devil's trail. The town forgotten, its streets run dry. Whispers of ghosts in the sheriff's side. He tips his hat as the church bells toll. The weight of vengeance has taken its toll. The stars above, they don't give a damn for the sins of a broken, wandering man. He rides to nowhere, but he can't escape the devil's mark carved into his fate. On the devil's trail, there's no turning back. The path is carved in shadows painted black. The reaper waits where the wild winds wail. Every step is hell on the devil's trail.